Hopefully everyone is well. Got the old live, everything set up for today's Wealth Coffee Chat. Welcome along, gang. Welcome everyone. Make sure I've got the whole thing going already. Well, there you go. We've got a couple of people jumping on, which is awesome. Good morning. Good morning for a Friday, May the 7th. Good to see you guys. Hopefully everyone is awesome and well. Like I said before, welcome along. Jason Witten's my name. For those returning, those who are coming back for a repeat experience. Morning, Sharon. Morning, Melinda. Morning, James. Good morning, guys. Good to see you guys. Happy Friday indeed, James. Happy Friday indeed. It's always nice to have the old Friday going on. A little bit of a reminder, a bit of a shout out. Andy Fenton and I are doing our Wealth, Wine and Wisdom tonight at around about 4:30. So dial into that one. It's usually about an hour long, where we talk about the property market, the share market, and the economy overall. Andy is a banker, economist, financial planner, and my world is property investing, 20 odd years, both of us. So join us for that one. We have a glass of wine and we debrief on the week, just so we can keep up to speed. So by popular demand, it's back. Yay, says Hellison. By popular demand, it's back on Friday afternoons. And, so we've just moved it a little bit earlier so everyone can finish a little bit earlier at our end anyway. So a little reminder for those who enjoy Wealth, Wine and Wisdom. Anyway, this morning is Wealth Coffee Chats. Good morning, Heidi. Good to see you here. And we've got most people jumping on now. Thanks for coming back, the people who are here all the time. Awesome to have you support the show. And for those who are new, oh, hey, Simon, thanks, mate. Awesome. Thanks for the shout out. For those who are new, welcome along. Jason Witten's my name, property investing over 20 years and coaching property investors across Australia and New Zealand over 18. And, along the way, paid attention and learned a few things. But today, I wanted to talk to you about some of the dangers of the marketplace right now. And it might not be what you think. And I want to sort of tell a bit of a story about this because for me, over the last 20 plus years, the lessons that I've learned, the best lessons that I've learned, haven't come from a booming market, haven't come from my successes. And it might be a bit of a cliche, this one, but it's so valid and so true about I believe success is an extremely poor teacher. Extremely poor teacher. Let me tell you a little bit of a story. Many years ago, back in a previous life, for me, I wasn't a property investor. I was actually in construction, and I used to build climbing walls and adventure ropes courses, flying foxes, you name it, adventure courses all over the world. And I loved it. It was amazing. This was 25, 30 years ago. And I traveled everywhere. I traveled all over Asia, all over Australia, into New Zealand. And I was in construction. I loved doing that stuff. And one of the places that I built some significant amount of adventure equipment was a place called Outward Bound in all over the world, but Outward Bound in Singapore. And it was interesting to find out, I don't know if anyone knows the history of Outward Bound. In Singapore, they send every single child in Singapore to Outward Bound personal development over the years. And one of the reasons they did that is where Outward Bound came from was World War I. Okay, stick with me here. Stick with me on this story because I'm going to tie it back into us as property investors. So World War I, there was a curious thing going on. The Allied forces noticed that the seamen, the sailors, when some of the boats were bombed, and the men who survived were in the dinghies, in the tinnies, in the life rafts, and just having to float around and wait in the ocean to be rescued. Something curious was happening. And a curious thing that the younger men in the life rafts died more often than the older men in the life rafts. And the scientists were like, this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense at all. Why? Where there's a 25-year-old man and then a 45-year-old man, the 25-year-old is younger, got more energy, is fitter, his body's better, everything is better for the 25-year-old compared to the 45-year-old. The science shows that the 25-year-old should survive in the life raft longer than the 45-year-old. And it perplexed them. And over the coming months and years, there was some studies launched about it. And do you know what they found? That the people, the men in this outward bound study that had more life experience survived 500% more chance of survival in a life raft situation than young men who had little life experience. Let that land for a second. And that's what I believe the danger of this investing in this market right now. If you are, resilience is a life skill, dead right, Alison. If you are a young investor or a beginning investor right now, and let's say you've invested just recently in the last 6 months, you're thinking to invest right now. Some of you guys on here are already investing and you've probably got a bit more life experience in this, but here's my warning. Here's my warning of this market right now. If this is, you cannot base your whole property investment concept on this moment in time, okay? Because success is an extremely poor teacher. If you invest right now, and I believe, and don't go out and buy bloody anything, but I believe almost anything in the next 6 to 12, 18 months, 2 years will get favorable treatment in the property market. Now, what will show up in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years time is when, the market returns to what would be considered long-term normals with supply and population and other bits and pieces. That average property that you purchase in an average location that only went up because there was madness in the market will struggle. And my big warning is to those who are investing right now, and you buy 1 or 2 properties and you get some capital growth and you're celebrating and high-fiving your mates and you're a genius. And then in 3 years' time you buy your 3rd one or your 2nd one and it doesn't go up in value. It goes down in value, because you purchased at the top of the cycle. And then you start to look to blame someone, or you become a victim and go, oh, the market was shit, somebody gave me bad advice, blah, 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 blah. I've heard it all before. That's my warning. Success is an extremely poor teacher, all right? And as far as I'm concerned, property investing, capital growth is the worst measurement of succeeding in this game. It's a dumb way to keep score. There's so many stupid opinions. Here's an interesting, get this, gang, get this. We had a valuation come back from one of my clients, one of the mentoring clients, on a deal. So the purchase price, 1.3 million. The valuation, 1.25 million. For the bank, the market appraisal, 1.5 million. The as if complete valuation, 1.4 million. 4 different numbers. Which one's right? It's insane. Focusing on capital growth, some random knobhead's opinion of something, the value of something, or that they're valuing for a bank, or they're making an appraisal on a sale. All of those things, they are completely irrelevant of your success as a property investor. the success of a property investor, for me, is about creating the plan. You know your number. You need 5, you need 6, you need 3. You want to diversify. You have a solid strategy that's going to keep you safe in the future and maximize your capacity for wealth. And you progress towards it. The market you don't control. You don't control the market. And so why do we spend time thinking, putting our mental capacity into things that we have no control over? And it's important to understand that right now, one of the biggest risks to a lot of success in the future, I believe, yes, very true, Lauren. One of the biggest risks for your success, many people's success in the future, will be their success right now. Because this success will come easy. People will expect this success in the future. And it's not going to happen. Gang, capital growth is not linear. Positive times in property investing is not linear. I saw a meme yesterday. My son brought home a little sheet. He goes to a little counselor, and he had this thing. It's like you get to choose hard. Life is hard. Things are hard. Nothing's easy, right? Things are hard. You get to choose your hard though. In financial world, being broke, being poor, being negative, that's hard. Being wealthy, choosing more interesting things to invest in, learning, getting knowledge, keeping yourself emotionally under control, that's hard. You choose the hard. Life's not meant to be easy, right? You know, we're meant to get better. And one of the things that I've seen, you know, this is for me, 20 plus years investing, 18 years sitting down with over 6,000 people. And success, gang, success is not the value of your property portfolio. Success is the type of person you become as you learn to manage your mental and emotional faculties about the progress you make. And your ability to make a mistake, own the mistake, and learn from the mistake, and then capitalize on that mistake into the future. Because success is a shit-house teacher, right? Someone buys a property now with no due diligence because they heard it from a friend at a barbecue, all right? Or because the newspaper said property prices are going to go up 20% this year, and they buy something and it goes up. All of a sudden, they think they're a bloody genius, right? Which is the most dangerous person to be. They terrify me, those sort of people. They're good time Charlies. They come to the property market, they buy something, they go off half-cocked, they have a small success, they think they're a genius, they know what they're doing, then they go around doing other things, and then you know what happens? The first moment, there's a little bit of toughness in the marketplace. Interest rates rise, you know, property prices go backwards a little bit. You know what they do? They run for the hills, they shit themselves, right? They sell their properties for less than they should. They devalue everyone else's house in the street, you know? Absolutely shit me, those people. Now, you know, that's, you know, getting a little bit of my rant on right here. You know, it's the good time Charlies that actually stuff the market for us as long-term property investors. You know, keep your shit together. If you can't keep your shit together, don't be an investor. That's my advice anyway. Anyway, get a little bit soapbox today. There you go. But gang, success is a very poor teacher. You can choose to understand that we've got lots to learn as property investors, and it's endless. You know, like I said, I'm 20 plus years into this, and every day I'm learning as we go, gang, as we go, which is great. I love it. I hope you love it. Because at the end of the day, you know, the point's not to, you know, show people the value of your bloody property portfolio, is it? It's about the choices you get to make and the muscles that you get to build doing something really different, really different. You know, unfortunately, sadly, the majority of the population are consuming fear and ignorance from the media, buying into this blame and, victim mentality that everyone's against me and blah, 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 blah. You know, it's not fair, it's not whatever. Life's not meant to be fair. No one gives a shit about you, right? The world is just keeping rolling on, right? Like, it's not about fair. It's about you managing you to get an outcome, to go for a goal, to set a target, to be better than you were tomorrow, or better today than you were yesterday. Anyway, there you go. Hopefully that makes sense. The moment of this market, don't give it more value than you should, because we have this thing where we give positive and negative things at the extreme more value than they deserve in our minds, and sometimes that can mess with the way we manage ourselves. But anyway, gang, hopefully that makes sense today. Bit of a coffee rant. Fridays seem to be a bit ranty sometimes. Gives me the whole week to sort of absorb and have a think about things. But there you go. I think this marketplace is excellent for investors who know what they're up to, who know their plan, who get it. Take advantage of this stuff while you can. This is why we're in property, to get advantages in the cycles. But don't give it more value than it deserves. If your properties go up in value, great. If they go sideways, great. Even if they go down, great. The point is, you're building your property portfolio, you have a strategy, you have a plan, you've got some support to go the distance, because remember, gang, this thing is a marathon, not a sprint. And in 20 or 30 years' time, this moment in time, this little blip in the radar, you probably won't even remember. All right, you won't say, oh, remember the 2021s? You know, we might say, remember 2020 COVID. That's probably what we will say, but there you go. All right, gang, that's it. I'm signing off now. I've had enough of a chat. Hopefully you guys are awesome and well. Enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend. And if you feel the need, you feel like it, come and join me and Andy Fenton for Wealth, Wine and Wisdom this afternoon. Around about 4:30 or 5 o'clock. I can't remember what I put in my diary, but keep an eye out where we talk about everything in depth: the market, shares, property markets, governments, political situations, all sorts of stuff that we believe that will affect us as investors as we go. All right, gang, stay awesome, stay well, and have a great rest of your day. Cheers, gang. Cheers, Nev. Bye, guys.